That was a very good, like, timed now loading there.
Yeah.
Good job on the cut snake.
I mean, you know, I vaguely edited this.
Okay, wait, so is this pink, like, a emulator
No,
issue?
no, because that's a still image. That's like an image that's being displayed on the back. That's not like an in-level thing.
So why is that pink?
Because that's the sky. It's bizarre. That's how coloring works in Jojo, you know? Like, that tunnel was red earlier on.
No, yeah, I've been meaning to bring up the pink sky and water.
No, it's not like we're in a Source game and it's just, there's no texture outside. Then we'd get, like, the pink and the magenta and black mosaic.
That would be pretty bizarre. I don't know, I mean, clearly if you look, Zeppeli's hat wasn't textured properly.
And then, Zeppeli gives Jonathon all of his Hamon, which I literally don't think actually is a thing. I think he's just telling him that. I think there's a placebo effect.
Jonathon's sort of brolying out there, though. Like, his bicep was thicker than his torso.
And that's a reveal moment when he gives him all of his Hamon and, like, Zeppeli ages a bunch, like, decades all at once. Like, oh, the Hamon was keeping him young. And then he jumps into his, like, 70s. But I still believe it's a bluff. I still think he's just like, I'll just tell him it will make him more powerful and he'll believe it.
Yeah.
Kid's fucking stupid. It's like, how do you give someone all of your breathing? That's how Hamon works, right? It's just
Before
breathing.
I die, I shall give you my kung fu.
Just, like, throws a textbook at him.
Yeah, and so this is where Jonathon starts to really get Kenshiro.
Yeah. No, okay, we kind of, like, skimmed on it, but it's like, Jonathon Joestar and, like, Jojo, it was written around the time where Kenshiro, like, fisted a North Star and such, was the thing, and it was kind of in the mold of those products, of those, like, manga. And it moved away from that as the years went by, and I think Araki just realized that he's just, I don't know, he had a manga before this called Bao, which I believe was a lot more in that mold.
Yeah.
Before Jojo just started moving away from that.
And I think it was a very good decision to move away from it. Even the art style just so dramatically gets away with that. Like, Araki's art was ugly as sin in part 1. It's not really until part 3 that I think it gets at all, like, tolerable. And then by, like, part 6 is when I would start calling it really good. Part 4 is when it goes from, like, okay to good. Part 6 is when I start to really enjoy it, though. Like, I love his modern work. But, yeah, it's just the way... I find it fascinating how differently, like, the JoJo's look. Like, how, like, big Jonathon is.
What's really
versus how, like, skinny, you know, modern
CC8.
JoJo, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, you can, like, even kind of, you can get an image of Jonathon drawn by Araki in, like, part 6 and onwards, like, style, where he's, like, very slim and fucking Bishonen as fuck.
Yeah, does not look anything like he does. He doesn't look like Kenshiro.
Like, it's just over the course of however many years it's been, like, decades, the men of everyone has just gotten thinner, essentially.
It could, you know, JoJo could very much be seen as a character study into a closeted gay man's taste changing from hunks to twinks slowly over time.
That has to be a joke that everyone has made.
Probably,
it's still
but
a very
I mean,
true
you know,
observation.
it's still the tea.
It's like 30 years of sexual self-discovery.
I love the noises Jonathon makes.
I love how square his nipples are in that frame. I've like, by the
I love that note. What the fuck's going on with the bar there?
Nothing, that's the problem. I was spinning the analog. You know, when I said, like, I never filled it up to the max, sometimes I just didn't even fill any of it. It just, you know, it just didn't feel like going.
Oh, there's the 100 combo again.
Yeah, this guy's probably the easiest fight in the game because I've worked out the parry. God, yeah, just fight him twice. We can't even say it's not, like, just a true rematch because we have all of Zeppeli's Hamon. We're still just fighting him with Zeppeli via just conduit of Jonathon.
God, like...
It's going this time!
The thing is, like, Jonathon's so buff now, but they have him next to this guy, so he looks small. Sass bed.
That's what I lie in.
Yeah, see, Zeppeli's hat's missing its texture.
He lost his hat, like, ages ago, and we didn't comment on it. But he lost his really sick rock candy hat that I preferred.
Yeah, this hat sucks.
Zeppeli...
This looks like Speedwagon should be wearing this hat.
Zeppeli shouldn't have given, like, Jonathon his Hamon. He should have actually just given him his hat.
Zeppeli has a very different emotion in the bottom right versus center.
Both of them carry resignation, but in different flavors.
Yeah. Like, the center Zeppeli carries a very blind, like, misplaced confidence in Jonathon. The bottom right conveys a much more, like, wise, oh no. Like, the bottom right realizes who he just gave his Hamon to. The center is still under the delusion that anything in his life was a good idea.
Oh my god. Zeppeli's, like, fuck-up is long-lasting, because it's just... It begins when he enters the room, but you just feel the echoing waves of it throughout.
Yeah.
Like, as he's comforted in death, and Jonathon assures him, like, he'll do what he needs to do.
Jonathon's eyes look weird.
He looks like he's got a bloody cross on his face.
He does.
I'm not...
He looks like he's crying a single tear of blood.
It's cool, he can get that as a tattoo.
Aw, shit. Okay, how come we haven't had a Jojo who has, like, a teardrop tattoo?
If anything, it should be Jolene, really.
I know! Or Josuke8.
Yeah, well, we know very little about Josuke8. Like, neither of us
I
have
know
made it that
enough
far.
about him based off design
I know,
that he could pull off.
I just know what his stand power is, and it's bullshit.
I know that he has, like, 2 testicles.
Well,
or 2 dicks and 4 testicles, or something like that.
You have to double up with him.
Yeah.
And he's also apparently...
I was gonna say, he has 2 testicles. That's not impressive, that's normal. I mean, you know, he has 2 pairs of testicles.
And apparently his, like, body has been spliced with fucking Kira's.
Oh, so he has Kira's nuts.
I guess. There's a lot... Like, here's the thing. I think Part 8 is going to be a lot less weird once I start reading it, and thus I don't want to start reading it. I just want to imagine Jojo as this insane bullshit series.
Oh, I don't know. I really, really want to read Jojo Leon. Like, I love the art style. I love the atmosphere it creates from the art that I've seen. I just love the sort of weird, surreal imagery really embraced by it.
I don't know who this guy is. I'm,
yeah,
like,
same.
thoroughly lost. No I'm like, wait.
I love his outfit, though.
I like his hair. It's just... There's a lot going on with this guy. I'm just thinking, who is this jobber? And why is he intimidating our child?
He looks like he should be releasing a late 80s, early 90s, like, shitty white dude hip-hop video.
I wouldn't say hip-hop video. He looks kind of like a merger between, like, you know, rap and country.
I don't see the country.
Really?
I don't know, I feel like he should have... Okay.
It's a zombie. I believe that was the Japanese translation.
Oh, that's a good shot of Jonathon. I love his square-ass pecs, too.
So you ready to beat up some more zombies for, like...
I love how the mask has a shitty little hair curl.
You gotta be styling even millions of years in the past. However long those masks were that no one bothered to clear up.
Yeah, they didn't have carbon dating back at this point.
Here, oh, his sister's dead. I think he just yelled Nasan or something.
Ah.
It's a damn shame.
Maybe this is his sister.
Could be. Like, it's a bizarre adventure.
True. No, knowing this game, his sister would be like one of these random side zombies. That, like, there's no fanfare for you, like, utterly decimating.
Yeah, as Jonathon just throws her into the sun. It's the preferred disposal method. I think the problem here is, like, gameplay-wise, there's a lull. Because, like, I've just kind of learned all the techniques that the game will let me bullshit through with. And now it's just kind of, you know... We're just going to it's like the anime, we're just waiting to get to Dio, is the problem now.
Yeah.
Like, there's just gonna be nothing interesting until Dio arrives. Until then, it's just jobber zombies, and eventually, fucking Zeppeli's band is gonna show up.
Oh, God. I just totally blanked on what I was about to say. You say something.
I ain't got fucking anything. I'm just looking at this again for the 15th time.
Look how much bigger his bicep is than his head. It's crazy.
That's the Hamon, it's where it's stored. I'm just wondering what the effects of smoking would be on a Hamon user, but it's such a mundane and boring angle, I can't really think of a joke to go on with from it.
Joseph definitely smoked weed. Oh, what if that's why he couldn't, like,
he had to choose weed or Hamon, and he was just like, ah, fuck it, the vampires are all dead.
Okay, here's what I thought. Alright, so, like, imagine if, like, Jonathon and Dio were alive in, like, the 70s or something. Or the 80s instead of the 1880s. Like, so, because the thing is, then instead of, like, hugging Dio's head on a boat, like, he would definitely somehow end up on a space shuttle with Dio, and, like, that would be, like, their final resting place, space, that someone would have to salvage Dio from for part 3 to happen. And my point just being, that would be a much more cool and hardcore thing for Jonathon to do to Dio, instead of pathetically hugging his brother on a boat.
Okay, I'm just imagining, like, instead of, like, the beginning of part 3, they salvage a coffin. Who could it belong to? Instead, it's just, like, a few people on the International Space Station, and then, like, they hear a thud. And they're like, what's that? And then they look out the window and it's just Dio's head is just bouncing off the glass.
That should have been part 4, but Kira instead of Dio. Like, they should have just... They got to find Dio. Kira was even more alive than Dio was, just, you know, in space. They really should have just, like, had the ISS and, like, there's a thud. Oh, why is there a frozen dude in space? The fuck? Well, let's try and de-thaw this bitch. And then,
that's very unscientific. Let's try and unthaw this bitch. Says the man.
Hey,
on the
like,
ISS.
you know, come on, caveman lawyer.
True. Fair enough. I don't actually understand
what's like Powerpuff Girls music.
This is the Hamon charging up theme I've talked about.
I never
before.
like actually listened to it before. I never noticed that it like sampled that drum track.
It's very energetic, I'll say that much.
Congrats.
The sex says.
BSCSES.
I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what 82% is. I can kind of understand seconds. 2 fights
brain
in a
scratch
fucking
comms.
Oh.
No, brain comms. No, yeah, brain scratch comms.
Good reference. I've got no follow-up. I haven't watched Brain Scratch comms since 2012.
I have literally never watched Brain Scratch comms. I love that this town looks like something from Kingdom Hearts.
How well...
Okay, is it...
Oh.
Wait, what's going on? Are we proving ourselves to Tom Petty's friends now?
They haven't turned up yet, but I believe so. Or they might have.
Oh.
I was kind of like half paying attention, I'll confess. I can't tell if this guy's got emulation glitches or if he's that fast.
Ultra Instinct. That's the Dragon Ball reference. I'm sorry you don't get it.
Yeah, you could just make a bunch of references and they'll be above my head. All I can do is just accuse you of doing some Ready Player One shit while the time is right.
You know, like, we need to get this more highbrow. I think, like, I'm gonna stop doing anime references from now on in com-coms. I'm making this a decision right now. From now on, the only pop culture I will reference is books. Other than that, I'm not referencing pop culture anymore, Snake.
Books aren't popular.
Exactly.
So what are you going to say, if anything?
No, well, I can still make commentary that's not referencing things, Snake. I can still comment on what I'm seeing, but I'm not gonna, like, make jokes that are pop culture references, unless it's, like, a book reference.
I see. Best of luck. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck and pluck.
I'm counting, like, plays as books if it's a play that more people have read than seen performed.
I see.
Like Shakespeare or something. Like, I could reference Hamlet, you know?
You could. I like your phrasing of I could reference Hamlet like you're reaching for the stars here. I could pull that one off. What about a comedy of errors? You got that one in you. Or have more people seen a comedy of errors than read it?
I could reference that version of Hamlet with, like, oh fuck, exit Hamlet.
That whole thing
Oh,
is amazing.
Oh fuck, exit Joseph Joestar.
You
See?
can describe so many fucking Jojo characters with just that, oh fuck, exit Jonathon, or just... Actually, I guess in this case it'd be, oh fuck, descend Jonathon.
Zeppeli, in Jonathon's arms, I am square and fairly fucked. No, Zeppeli, I've got this feeling that I'm gonna cop at Speedwagon, and you know, I couldn't give a flying fuck. Oh, these are references that, like, one person in our audience is getting. Whoa, no, this
Don't
is definitely Tom Petty's guy.
His dumb plan of attack where he will cause them to block so he can do this?
See, blocking bad. Jonathan should be learning this now.
I think I already did learn that in gameplay. I think I've stopped blocking at this point. I've replaced it with parrying. That dumbfounded expression on Jonathan's face of just, who's this guy and is he dumber than me? I think it's possible.
Also, okay, I just feel bad because, again, our like, audience is not going to get what we were just referencing. So I need everyone to look up the Skinhead Hamlet because it is the best thing I've ever read. It's by Richard Curtis. It's, like, short. It's on the internet. It's easy to find. It's amazing.
It's like, it begs for adaptation. Even more than those fucking, like, modern takes on Romeo and Juliet, which I was made to watch when I was in secondary school. It's the boys! It's Tom Petty, it's Straight So, and a guy whose name I've forgotten. Fuck. Do you remember?
No.
Well, that's a shame. He dies, so who cares? We've already spoiled everything. All you need to know is Tom Petty and Straight So. And even then, you can forget Straight So if you really want to. I like the framing of this. Looks like Straight So is scratching so much, he's just kicking up a steam cloud. But no, these guys rolled with Zeppeli. They were his trainers, his mentors. They were all training in Hamon for the purpose of defeating the mask.
They were all training in Hamon to stop the vampires that did not exist
at that
anywhere
point in
the
time.
World.
Yeah, so should we talk about that now? Is now the time?
Yeah, okay. I think we're about to get in. So Zeppeli's backstory. His dad was, like, on a boat, and, like, there was a mask that was cursed, and he, like, lost the mask. No, like, Zeppeli stowed away on a ship with his dad, and saw the mask turn someone into a vampire, And, like, that vampire died, but so did everyone else. And Zeppeli was like, oh, fuck, that mask is really bad news. Am I right? Am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah, you've got the bare essentials right. He knew of the mask.
Okay.
And it killed a boat. So he saw this mask can create vampires. But there were no other vampires around at the time.
So the boat, like, lands, and the mask leaves his, like, area of awareness. He doesn't know where the mask goes. Somehow, I don't know. It's like it gets traded, like, immediately, and he's like, oh, whoops, well, I lost that. I think he, like, got stuck on some Jetsam or something like that. I don't know.
Jetsam and Flotsam.
Yeah, whatever. Like, but the point is he's separated from the mask, and he's a young lad, so he's like, shit, well, there's a mask that can create vampires. So he, like, journeys the world, I don't know, just, like, because, and finds these, like, monks in the Himalayas who have breathing magic, and it's sun magic, and they're like, oh, we have a prophecy. My Hamon's so good, I can see the future. Yeah, that never comes up again. But he's like, you know, oh, we need to, like, stop more vampires from happening. So, like, here. So, Zeppeli trains in Hamon for, like, 40 years. Like, dedicates his life to training with Hamon to stop the vampires that don't currently exist. He isolates himself in the Himalayas to, like, train to, like, really hard to perfect this technique to stop the vampires, instead of looking for the mask that can make vampires and making sure, like, he could have been looking for the mask, and he just fucking doesn't. He's given up, lost cause, I don't care. It's not even hidden. It's not at the bottom of a river or something. It's openly displayed in some dude's house. It was on the market. It was traded. It was sold. And instead of, like, tracking it down, he just trains with Hamon until vampires show up. He's like, God, finally, Jesus. And then goes to train someone else to fight the vampires instead of him doing it. And that was Zeppeli's plan.
He very much puts the cart before the horse. He's like, okay, train for vampires. Yeah, I'll do that instead of destroying the mask that has yet to create the vampires that I'll fight. That's him.
What an unbelievable fuck.